Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome to Can't Catch a Break. I am DJ and Dr. Charlene Johnson. We can't catch a break. I am DJ.
Sweet, I'm so tired you see me this way. I'm sick and then sweet, I'm so tired sweet, I'm so tired you see me this way. And from human see me this way. Sweet, I'm so tired sweet, I'm so tired you see me this way.
Hey guys, I have three questions for you today.
Sweet, I'm so tired
Are you
sweet, I'm so tired you see me this way. See me this way. Sweet, I'm so tired sweet, I'm so tired you see me this way.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome to Can't Catch a Break. I'm DJ and Dr. Charlene Johnson. I want to thank you all for listening to Can't Catch a Break. I really appreciate you all so much. Keep on listening. I have more to talk about, more issues. Let's talk. We want to talk, right? So let's go talk, all right? Talking is good for you. Communication is good, especially when it's here to help, not to harm. It's here to motivate, to build, encourage, okay? Now, I have a good episode on today. Yes, I do. Thank you all again for listening to Can't Catch a Break. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We really appreciate you from the bottom of our heart. Now, if you like to poll us, PLLL, you can. Like, subscribe, go ahead. I have questions. You can, on my poll, you can answer them. Let's talk. Hey, I want to hear from you. I love to hear from you. Yes. Your opinion does count. That's right. I want to hear from you. We're not here to be critical or judge anyone. We're here to speak the truth, the facts. We're here to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. Okay. Okay. I have a good episode on today. Yes, a good episode. Yes. Okay. Now, on this episode, I mean, really, 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 it's something that affects us as a child. And anyone that says uh, we don't, then down the line, as you get older, you'll see how it affected you. Now, oftentimes, trauma comes when a lot of screaming and yelling happens. Some people say, no, I can't. No, I can't. Oh, yes, it can. 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 Screaming can take place in many various forms. Yes, so I just want to, to do that because I hit you again with that. All right. All right, let's go into it. Okay. I want to share with you something very important here. And most times people not be aware of that is that, you know, um, like some people go through episodes of just frequently being yelled at, in life as a child. That'd be the biggest one to me because we all, were little kids at one time. And, when we look at it, you would probably holler that most children today are mostly yelled and screamed at today. But it brings on trauma. Yes. It really mess with the brain. People can say, nah, it can't. The mind. Yes, it does when I look at it. Because when I see some of these uh, kids today, and they used to use the word in the brain for the brain, um, medulla oblongata, or something like that, or uh, messing with your mind, but in most cases, you think about the stress, the hormones, the tension, the nervous system, the brain, the shutdown, the mechanism, emotional side, the numbing, the harmful, the lead up to behaviors, the serious consequences. I'm saying these words because when you look at it, these things are happening as of today. Okay, our children are faced with a lot. Yes, they are. They are a lot. Yes, they are. A lot of yelling to some kids it scares them. It shuts them down. They don't know how to, and then when they out there in society, have a lot of fear on them because there's always being you yelled at them, you screamed at them at home. And kids, when you're little, they're very sensitive, emotional. They can't take everything. And because you look at the homes and some scenarios of the way the child's brought up, these things affect kids. That's why it's very important to look at, how you was raised up. And you see some other kids, it was a lot. Some kids are being traumatized for the screaming, yelling, of being, frail, sensitive, afraid, fearful around people because of that life of growing up in some homes that was full of chaos. And we are living in a time now where you think, do I see the child protective services working for the children? Not really, not really. Too many kids are being sent to juvenile intake early. When they get up to 13, their teenage years, girls, boys. You look at them because they have this so much of a chaotic stress of being traumatized by the parents, or a cousin or a brother, an older brother, sister, someone that was aggressive toward them. And you see these little kids, whether white, black, whatever color you are, race, it is happening, people. It is happening as I speak. I've seen it. I've been around it, and I'm seeing that because you actually got to take a look at it. You have to put yourself there with it. You got, and some will say, "Well, it wasn't like that." Yes, it is. So some of my kids really, they shut down. Some kids would be like, because the parents can neglect some kids to a point where they're not communicating with the kids, and so these kids grow up with altered way of thinking about life. They're not happy. They don't want to be bothered. Like they want to be left alone because they feel like they was wounded, and they are wounded, really mentally, physically. And you have these. I'm not a doctor or anything, but what I can tell is that a lot of these kids, no matter what color you are, is being in some kind of trauma right now. They're being screamed and yelled at in a society that really, well, the babies are having babies, young teenagers are grandmamas almost now. Look like it's getting worse when we look at things. I challenge anybody, any podcast. You want to debate me on? I can tell you who, what, when, where, why. I will break it down to you what is taking place in the system. Because I've seen it, I've been around it, I've worked in it as a correctional guard in corrections. I've worked in it, even in youth programs. I've worked there in a school system. I've worked there. See it in the church. I've been there, seeing it. Growing up in families, I seen it, and people are avoiding this. Guess what? These kids are being uh, caught up in going into these institutions because of the trauma they suffer mentally, physically when it came to that yelling and screaming all the time. It was pulling on them. It overloaded them. It shut them down. It made them, it led to a sense of detachment. You don't love me. You just all you do is scream and holler at me. You choose your boyfriend or man or husband. I'm trying to be your son or daughter. That's what I think when I was a child. I couldn't express myself because I was too young. I was 5 and 6 years old, 7 years, 8 years old, but yet I was suffering with me. I couldn't speak up. But now I'm older and a teenager, and you're still doing it to me, and it still affects me. So what am I supposed to do? So when I get some kids or I have a family that can scream and yell, do I call that normal? Do you call that normal? Or when you look at the stuff, even in all our homes, I don't. We didn't have that. We didn't have that. Okay, and sometimes you just need to take a step back and look at yourself. Look at what you're doing to you. What are you doing? Who are your surroundings? Even you. Examine yourself. See that you have that problem with screaming, hollering, yelling. Okay, where you just loss of sensitivity toward people. The emotional side you have has been a wreck. Look at what you're doing, okay? I want here to help somebody. Somebody here to help me. Even your relationship with issues with people, think about it, because down the line, this stuff can cause health problems such as high blood pressure, bleeding ulcers, migraine headaches, nerves condition. This is real. Okay. But if you have a goal, you need to seek some medical advice. You need to consult a professional because it does lead to there. Now, in a church form, they'll say this is a spirit. Is it a spirit? Is it something demonic that's holding you back? I'm making you act out like this? What is it? What is it that's causing you to do that? Is it, read your Bible, and I'm not here to throw in religion on no one, but there is some things deep down in your soul, your spirit, in your mind, in your heart, that something happened as a child, as you growing up where you were screaming and yell at. So now when you're around people, your emotions is so high, or your dislike or something about a person, could be your brother or sister when it comes to because of the emotion side of you, you feel bullied, you feel intimidated by them, and that's a lot. When those things, resentment comes all with this because of your upbringing and what you've seen and who you listen to. Examine it. What triggered? Okay, okay. See, the thing is, when somebody's being yelled at, that's like normal. We already know it triggered the brain, the body. Okay, think about it. Okay, on the emotional side, your bloodline, your tension, the normal side of it. But then think about it when it's compressed, when people get triggered. hmm All right, there's a things that happen with a fight on fight system. You don't yell at me like that. Your adrenaline flow in. You don't tell me what to do. Who you think you are? You don't tell me your adrenaline goes up. Okay, your body reacts. Okay, and then after all that, you feel drained because you didn't took it to another level. And these are things that happen even to the best of us. We got to acknowledge on ourselves. Okay, where we lie in this area of, well, so because of we been hollered, screamed at, or yelled at when we was a child, to now, are we still doing the same as what the parents or someone did to us? Examine yourself. Take a look at your outbursts, your PTSD's outbursts, your anger, okay, your sudden surges, your emotions. What causes this physical aggression towards you? Okay, it can be irrational. We have kids. I have kids, and like I say, uh, we have to maintain as parents on how we gotta think before acting. Okay, because sometimes you can trigger someone. It doesn't matter. You can trigger anybody that you're talking to because the way you came about it. You have to be careful. Okay, even me as a person, I have to. Dr. Shaw, we have to be careful because we can have outbursts too. And see, nobody is exempt from this. See, nobody want to talk about this, but I'm here to talk about this. Okay, because psychologically, there's parents are yelling at their children and they're young, 5, 6 years old. Grandparents and stuff yelling. And, the thing is, some people have been raised where they didn't have that yelling and screaming, and some have. Okay, let's look at it. Let's keep it real. Okay, I just want to tell you. Okay, um, and I'm telling you, there's all kind of there's fight, there's freeze when it comes to trauma. Okay, there's fight and there's freeze. The threat of danger when someone's screaming and yelling at you. Yeah. But sometimes people gotta understand that in that moment of being yelled and screamed at, you have to be real careful because the other person that's screaming and yelling at you might not be thinking clear. And many have lost their lives, even in times like that, because of the fight within them to do something to you. Okay, or and if you want to know how if you're traumatized, okay, the emotional side of it, the physical symptom side of it. Look at those signs, okay? Your flashbacks, your nightmares, your avoidance of people, okay? The things you do, difficulty concentrating, okay? Numbing, the fear, anxiety, the panic. See, I reread this. I read stuff like that. I study this because I remember we're not here to make stuff up. We're here to speak the facts. These are people, doctors that write stuff like this, that study, that went to school. So we take that knowledge and we share this because it's very important to share, to help people, okay, that's going through this sadness, a feeling, feeling sadness, hopeless, because down the years, their life was nothing but traumatized by emotional screaming and yelling. Yes, it has. And many people don't want to talk. Some people don't want to talk about this because you don't know you can still have it. You can still have this trauma from as a child, okay? But you're hiding it, okay? We're hiding, okay? This is, you know, someone's yelling at you, and hollering and screaming at you all the time. As especially in a child is affected more than anything by it. People shut down when they yell, especially teenagers, especially kids, because of the power of the fear that person or parent may have toward them, afraid of being beat or something, abused by their parent, that's hiding this stuff. There's some people, parents are hiding what they're doing to their children. Kids are not acting themselves. You can tell just by some kids you see how they sit like they are not like here and mentally, when you're around them, like they just want to be left alone, like they don't feel like they're fitting in. I mean, in society, the trauma, okay, what goes behind them yelling. And I say today, even me, I have to watch myself, and it goes to anybody, parent. Okay, if you need some help, if you see yourself going up to 100, and every time you need some, and you need some help, and yelling it can be disrespectful, it can be a sign of hate. Okay, some people get very sensitive when someone yells at them. Um, some folks are tired of being yelled at, and we see this happen. So it's like it's nothing new, but when we look at America, when we look at the society of people who we around, go around, be around. Okay, the disagreements that take place toward one another because of things in someone's life when you see them and you have disagreement, it can be triggered from even when you were a child and your parents was uh, was very mean to you, and so if someone approach you in a way that it bothers you, you begin to intentionally act out to a point where you don't want to be bothered with no one. You start holding resentment. You start holding things within. From it goes to family too. It goes deep. It goes with family too. It breaks down the core of a family too because there's siblings that's still holding stuff in them when it comes to because they've been screamed and yelled at. So the numbness of being numb and a long term is there. The coldness is there. The behavior is there because they're looking at something that took place of a disagreement and yet they're holding on to it. But if you believe in prayer, you believe in God, you believe in seeking counsel, seeking help, seek it because you could be doing things out of resentment and someone yelling at you or you dislike because something happened in a family or you just want to be around certain people because you don't want to be around that person. If the person, because of this physical tension when it came to the yelling and argument with a person or dislike a disagreement that you hold in your mind and your heart that you need to be released from. Okay, so I'm just here. I'm talking because I'm telling you, it is getting to a point where people are really going through a lot. Okay, it is getting point. where people, let me say it again, and we're in this time right now where you see the coldness of some people to the point where they ain't gonna tell you how they feel. They ain't gonna share that with you. But yet they're hiding behind themselves a mask of this because they've been streamed and yelled at. And the kids suffer behind that. Okay. So you trying to look at a personality. Okay, you look at them if you're a friend or sibling, look at how, if you get to know them real well, especially you shouldn't when you start knowing your siblings, you'll see a lot of changes. And the thing if you grew up with them and you go back and now you're older, you can see, visualize what took place. You can see some things, but ain't nothing wrong with that because you're there to help. You're there to be there for them in those times. Yeah, and that's what we live in. There's a lot of things that happen in families, the anger, the rage, of what they went through that's coming up to a point where they are very traumatized because of the yelling and screaming and not getting along. Even when those parents that was raising them up, they wasn't around, but it's temporary. It's traumatizing to the child. But the ones that did something was there for the children, for the kids, the teenagers. Those were the ones really it didn't affect. But it's a lot of when I come to screaming, I'm doing this, I'm screaming and yelling. When I say it's a spiritual thing, or the physical, it's an emotional thing. Well, true. Yes, it's true. So my thing is this. I'm not a doctor. I'm just going to get you on clear. I'm not a doctor, okay? I can tell you, I can share with you what I'll see, what I can see. Because it's very, it's, it's emotionally. It hurts. Yelling and screaming hurts children all the time. Uh, Unhealed signs. I'm gonna say this because what happens is that when it's unsolved, you know, some people have nightmares, flashbacks, things what a person done to them. You know, some people go into uh, addiction or eating a lot, social withdrawals, avoiding anything and everyone because of trauma. Always on your guard. If I'm always on my guard, now these are Christians. Now I'm gonna bring it home to the Christian. If I'm always on my guard towards you as a Christian, okay, but I'm saying that for Christians, I'm saying once again, I'm not putting this my religion toward anyone. I'm sharing because I need to share this. Is that if I'm on guard towards you, then guess what? Then there's still things that underline that are saying to me that when I'm saying I'm okay, I'm not. Let's admit to the truth, okay? And if you are, but there's nothing wrong with admitting to because it helps you. When you seek out therapy, seek out prayer, seek out counseling. Yes. And we see it. We see it. And it's good to observe people. But to look for the positive in a way where you can help, not just go in there looking at the negative. That's not what we do. That's not what we shouldn't do at all. hmm I just want to share that with someone because really what happens is that it's really damaging right now to children. Yes, it is. And you look at some of these children down here when they're yelling and screaming all the time. As they grow up, as they growing up to 5, 6, 7, 8, you see that. Well, why they act out in class? Why they run away from home? Why they get sent to juvenile intake such early age? Mental, brain capacity, the the harmful and the yelling traumatize them, to is affect their emotional, physical well-being as a child till they grow up, still holding it in within. Some go on medication down the line because they haven't a chance to be free because they there was a threat to them when they feel like they got to, you know, hold themselves because they fearful and within they don't know what to do. Especially a child. They gonna cry, they gonna cry, they gonna cry, they gonna cry. Okay? Instead of being loved. Instead of being, you see that, the love. These children, the love. Teenagers, young adults, the love. Not parents and those that's not showing love. We seeing the problem right now all through America. Depression, suicide, the love. People of all walks, race, and life love people. Somebody loved you. Where you at now? They loved you. Show your love. Ain't nothing wrong with it. There's nobody perfect in this world. Remember that. Okay? Mistakes gonna be made, but that ain't mean that it's gonna be the end of your life. So help somebody, encourage somebody. Yes, because I have a conversation with some people, and this is the real. This is the real. We in 2025. We see the world's changing. We see things are happening that are affecting everybody, from a child on up to your grandparent of 60, 70 years old. Yeah, we see things are happening right now in society that shouldn't be, and we know well the Bible. Yeah, the Bible. Yeah, the Bible's right. But at the same time, we can do something to help. We can do something. Do something. Do something. Yes, do something. Problems gonna be here. Issues gonna be here, but there is a remedy. There is a solution. How we go about it. How we use our wisdom that we have. Because we want to see the better side of a child that grows up. That well, we're not in the homes right now. We might have to meet one day that's gonna be like 13 years old, 12 years old, 15, 17, 21. That's going to be going through that has a lot of things that hidden, but they ain't shared it with nobody. But yet it's there. Even when they go to school and things are happening in school, grammar school or high school, it's there. They holding that stuff in, y'all. But we here. We're here. What we gonna do about it? Do something. Do something. Actions speak louder than words anyway. So thank you all for listening to Can't Catch a Break. I just wanted to share that about the things, trauma, the things trauma does to people when it comes to yelling and screaming. Trauma is very, very hurtful, painful. The reason why I just say about trauma do things, I mean, with the yelling and screaming brings on trauma. Let me reiterate. Okay, I just want to rephrase because I know you're listening. But it has, it's emotional side. Everyone has it. If you have a heart, if you have feelings, if you care for someone, everybody's not bad. Kids are not bad. Believe me, they're trying to find out who they are, learn themselves. But screaming and yelling, it doesn't help them at all. It puts fear in them. They can't function in society as they grow up. So they latch out. Then they get all these medicines and from doctors, and they putting all these medicines and stuff, all that stuff. They don't need all that. They need to be loved. young adults, teenagers need to be loved. So we won't have all this suicide and all this stuff, incarceration. They need to be mentored and helped if you can. All right, well, thank you all for listening. I just wanted to share that with you. Please subscribe to Can't Catch a Break. I'm DJ and Dr. Charlene Johnson. And for those that's listening, thank you all for listening. We really appreciate you for taking out your busy schedule. You didn't have to do it. But here we're here to speak the facts, the truth. We're here to share the knowledge because from our things, only what we do for Christ will last anyway. Yeah, so do something. Do something that will last. That's positive. Okay? And do it for, if you're doing it for your God, for God, do it for God. Okay? Like I said, I'm not here to put my religion on one, but I just want to see things happen for the better of people. Thank you. God bless you. Love you all. You have a fantastic and a wonderful day.
So tired.